Jade and Paul, Jade and Paul's Adventures. Jade.
Paul. And today we're talking HDR photos.
Roll that intro.
So let's go ahead and jump into Lightroom. And you're going to come over here where it says import to be able to pull your photos over. And it'll have a little section over here where it kind of drops down and shows you what you have. When you click on your folder, it's going to have them all automatically checkmarked. So you want to come down here and click uncheck all. And that way you can just select the images that you're wanting. Once you have them selected, come down here and click import. Alright, so there's my images. I'm going to come over here into develop, which is where we can work on them. So when you're doing an HDR photo, which HDR stands for high dynamic range, and dynamic range is just basically the difference between like the darkest dark and the lightest light that you can capture in your image. It's notoriously difficult for you to capture both ends of this spectrum in your image, which is where the HDR comes into play. When you're taking an HDR photo, you want to take anywhere from 3 to 9 photos and have them all taken at different exposure levels. That way we can go from the lightest all the way through to the darkest, and we can kind of mash them all together to create that perfect HDR photo. So here is all of my pictures that I've chosen. I just did 3. What you're going to do is you're going to click and select one, hold shift, and click all the way at the end. So then all of them will be selected. Then you're going to right click, and it's going to bring up this little bar right here. You're going to go all the way to, here it is, photo merge. And you're going to click on the HDR right here. Okay, so here it is. You want to make sure that you have the auto align clicked. What this does is it just makes sure that all of the images that you have taken, there isn't any of that like wobble or movement, and it kind of aligns them as best as it can to give you a nice solid image. The deghost right here, this right here is basically for if you have something moving in your image like birds or clouds or something, you can click on that and it will do its best to kind of take those, cloud movement or bird movement out of the picture. So when you've got all that done, you can just come over here and click merge. And there it is. So once it's finished, it drops down your new HDR image right here. This is the closest that we can get a photo to look how our eyes actually see it, which is really neat. And from here you can edit and do all the same basic Lightroom stuff. You can throw on a preset if you want. Let's look at some of these that I have. Ooh, that one's nice. Let's try this one. One's a little dark. That one looks cool too. Let's try Red Smash. That's really red and blue. So if you're going for that really nice dramatic look, you could do something like that. Ooh, I really like that one. So yeah, you can just throw on a preset. Presets are really nice to have because it makes editing your photos really, really fast. Alright, come on down here to Photoshop. So don't worry about pulling over a photo right now. You're just going to go to Create New. And these settings over here don't really matter, so you can pretty much have them set at whatever you want. Go ahead and click Create. Okay, so you're going to come up here to File. You're going to come click on Automate, and then down here to Merge to HDR Pro. This little screen right here is where you're going to pull over all of your files. So click Browse. I have mine on the desktop, so you're going to go ahead and click, hold Shift, and click the rest of your images. And then hit Open. So it has all my files listed right here. You want to make sure that this button is clicked, the attempt to automatically align source images. This just makes sure that all of the images that you've taken line up perfectly so that the image looks good. So go ahead and click OK. Alright, so it's taking all 3 of my images and it's merging them together to make my HDR photo. And here's my image. So it took all 3 of these images that I took and it merged them together to give me this HDR image right here. Over here, it gives you all kinds of options if you want to mess with it from here. If you want to change the exposure, give it more detail. If you want to mess with the shadows and highlights, all of that kind of gives you the options to do it right here. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it. I think it looks pretty good. So go ahead and click OK. And here is my final HDR photo. And even from here, you can take it into any of the Photoshop settings if you want to mess with it from here.
Those are 2 quick and easy ways to do HDR photos using Photoshop and Lightroom. If you dig it, smash that like button.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Alright, Jade and Paul of Jade and Paul's Adventures. Jade?
Paul. Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
I always forget, I don't know why.
Alright, those are 2 quick and easy ways to do shit.
Do shit?
Shit.
That's just a really easy way
Do
to
shit.
do shit.
Make shit happen.
Stop it. Do it right.
Alright, those are 2 quick and easy ways to make HDR photos. Right? Is that even it? Okay. Alright. Alright, those are 2...
I have to... Okay, go.
You're not even talking. Why do you have to clear your...
I have to talk next.
Alright. Those are 2 quick and easy ways to do HDR photos using Photoshop and Lightroom.
Go.
Freeze.
You like
Freeze.
stage fright. Okay, go. Yeah.
Let's do it one more time.